The court is ready for tip-off. The show begins right now.
Welcome to another edition of The Court. It's been a minute. I think my last show was, if I'm correct, was November 13th. It's been a while since I've done any basketball-like stuff. I think it's overdue, way overdue. So, there's been so much little things going on in the NBA, and I said, you know what? Let's get a show for the holiday season here. So here we go. I want you guys to listen to this clip. It's from a guy who has a page on Twitter called Hoops Tonight. I don't even know his name, could care less to know his name, but this is what he said about LeBron and his performance against the Houston Rockets in last night's Christmas game that they lost is it, if I'm correct? I want to get it right. They lost by 23, if I'm correct. And the Lakers, if I'm correct, they lost 119-96 last night for one of the 5 Christmas games that was on TV. And this is what he had to say about LeBron. I'm going to reply respectfully after this. So just listen to this listen to this soundbite, and then I will reply and say what I got to say about this.
LeBron was like embarrassingly bad on defense and on the glass last night. LeBron was just standing around and watching for the most part. He had a play where, I shit you not, where Reed Shepherd was dribbling through the middle of the field floor, and LeBron, like while Reed was dribbling, just leaked out to the other end, just started running down in transition. It was crazy. And of course, Alperen Sengun's wide open under the basket for an easy little offensive rebound putback. It's unacceptable because this team actually needs him to be a great defender and rebounder. He either needs to lock in on defense and on the glass, or he needs to be traded to a team that will let him chill. He's hurting the team right now. And I hope JJ Redick calls him out for it in practice on Saturday.
So that was his take on LeBron. Of course, expecting a lot, expecting this, expecting that. And here's my thing on that. Now, if this was LeBron in 2015, I could say, okay, you know what? LeBron is 30 years old. He should play defense. He's in the prime of his career. You expect him to do something. This is 2025 going into 2026. LeBron is 41. He's going to be 41 in 4 days. LeBron has put in a ridiculous 59,474 career minutes as of right now. Let me repeat that number again. 59,474 minutes. That is what his body has contributed to the NBA game since he turned 19, way back in 2002 or 3 when he came into the league. He's got 23 years in. Do you expect him to play defense every night? Of course, the Lakers have no defenders. We know that him, Austin Reeves, and of course Luka, who don't play any defense or don't do anything defensively at all, and in most ways, Luka doesn't do any offensive scheming either, which is very rare because a lot of Europeans do a lot of cutting and screening. He doesn't do too much of that, but I'll get to him in a second. But what do you expect from LeBron, who's averaging almost 38 minutes in his 23 years per game? I'm not going to sit here and knock LeBron at all for that. LeBron has put in that amount of minutes in his body. He's not going to play defense on every play. That's why you get other players on your team. This is why the Luka trade for Anthony Davis was a very, very significant deal, because you traded your only defensive player. You've had defensive players like Caldwell Pope and and a plethora of other guys who actually wanted to play defense. You had Alex Caruso. You let him go. So I don't understand why. Listen, we know how LeBron is. There's been a lot about LeBron and the Lakers, blah, blah, blah. But let's be real. You come out on your show and you say that LeBron needs to play defense. What? He's not going to, I don't expect LeBron to play defense on every play. I expect LeBron to probably give us 10 minutes of defense in maybe 25 to 28 minutes of play now. And depending on the game itself and the whole scheme of what they're trying to do, he's not going to play defense. He might do a lot of help defense, but he's not going to do that. He's 41 years old on the 30th of this year. So to put it on the pressure, you have to blame the Laker organization. This is, again, it goes back to Jeannie Buss before she sold the team. All the bad habits that they were bringing in with her hiring her friends and all that. And of course, I mean, Rob Pelinka did what he could. LeBron and his group doing a lot of things to get what they want. Come on, guys. Like, seriously? Of course it's going to catch up. Austin Reeves is not going to play any defense, and he's not going to be around for the next 4 weeks because it's just announced that he's out with a calf strain. So, I mean, I don't know where the Lakers' Rui Hachimura is inconsistent, and I can go down the whole line. Dalton Knecht is not getting the minutes he needs. JJ Redick could answer that question. I mean, his press conference spoke volumes, and I'll get to that in a second. I mean, what do you expect? So now what I want you guys to take in is this soundbite from Sam Mitchell. And we know Sam Mitchell. If you know Sam Mitchell is a very tough-minded guy. You know, we know what he was when he coached the Raptors. We know how he is. We know Sam Mitchell. So I want you to check out this this soundbite from Sam Mitchell. And then after that soundbite, I want you guys to listen to JJ Redick's soundbite after they lost that game yesterday by 23. And then I'll continue on.
Luka Doncic cannot play basketball without the ball. He don't cut. He don't move. He don't set screens. He's great with the ball. He does nothing to make his teammates better when he doesn't have the ball. And the problem with the Lakers is Austin Reed and LeBron James are the same way. They got to have the ball because they don't want to do the hard things. Pass, cut, move, set screens. The reason we give Steph Curry so much credit is not because he's a traditional great point guard. He averages about 4.5, 5 assists a game for his career. Steph Curry do the hard things. He's always cutting and moving without the ball, which when you're a great player and you make a hard cut, Gerald, somebody's going to follow you.
Prove all these things when you can't practice enough.
Well, we practice them all the time. It's not, again, it goes back to what I said the other night. It's a matter of making the choice. And too often we have guys that don't want to make that choice. And it's pretty consistent who those guys are. And so Saturday's practice, I told the guys, it's going to be uncomfortable. The meeting is going to be uncomfortable. I'm not doing another 53 games like this.
Let me first start with Sam Mitchell. He's 1,000% right. But the problem is who brought him in, who made the deal, who accepted the deal. The Lakers knew what they were getting with Luka Doncic. They knew what they were getting with him. And you guys did not expect Luka to go hot like this throughout the season. And then LeBron coming back and there's chemistry issues. We all knew this was going to happen. I mean, they're at a decent 19-10. It's a good record based on how they started, but they haven't been good since. But you guys knew this was going to happen. And if you guys felt that LeBron was going to defer to Luka, he has in some ways, but there's just certain things LeBron is not going to give up. And let's be honest. LeBron plays the point position very well, a lot better than Luka does. And if anybody comes and tells me that he doesn't, you're crazy. You don't watch basketball. But the problem is there's a lot of guys that watch the game as fanboys and fangirls don't believe that. So you need LeBron because you don't have a natural point guard on your team. And this is another problem with the NBA today, starving in the point guard position. Because the point guard position is no longer about passing and trying to get guys going. It's about you have to score first and then maybe think about the rest of the team afterwards. There's nobody else but Joker. Joker is a special breed alone. He's in a world of his own. You know, like I'll talk about him in a bit, but you need LeBron. As much as LeBron is a hindrance to the offense, you need him because you don't have a point guard. So you have no choice but to use LeBron. So there are moments where LeBron makes things easy and simpler, and there's things that, you're like, oh gosh, it's difficult. And it is difficult because now you got to figure out who the guy is in critical moments. We know LeBron is going to pass the ball to whoever in a game-winning situation. He's always going to defer the ball to the open guy to shoot. I know a lot of you have been shitting on LeBron, saying, why is he passing the ball? He's been doing that since high school. Again, most of you guys are not paying attention to the game. You're paying attention to your feelings. And there's a lot of you guys that pay attention to your feelings and not pay attention to the facts, the stats, and the game itself. LeBron 9 times out of 10 makes the right play. He does when it comes to the last play of the game looking for the open guy. Now, if LeBron can make the shot, great. But then if he misses a shot, you guys criticize him. So LeBron, unfortunately, for most of you, needs to be there because the Lakers don't have a point guard. And now that Austin Reeves is going to be gone for a while, you're going to need LeBron because who else do you have? You're definitely not going to use Bronny. He's not going to do anything. I'm just keeping it real. So, and to JJ's comments, JJ signed up for this. You see, when everything is good, nothing is said, nothing is being told in such a way that you're trying to go after players, or what we say is saying things to ignite a player's fire. That doesn't work anymore in sports. Most of these guys, as soon as you say something about them to the media or you criticize them for something that they've been allowed to do, consistent bad habits, they turn themselves off from you. This is not the old school time where it ignited a fire in you, you became a better player. These guys turn off and that's it. So where the Lakers go from this will be very interesting after JJ's comments. And we already know LeBron's going to do his own thing. Luka's going to do his own thing. And now I want to ask the people who've listened to this show, is that Luka trade still a bad trade? I still think it's not, and I understand why the trade was made. Because there's going to be a moment in the playoffs where Luka's going to have to guard somebody and he's going to get cooked. The Lakers made the trade because Dallas wanted to get rid of a situation. I still believe that the trade was made for a reason. It's not the worst trade in NBA history because the Lakers are not winning with that team. Until the Lakers get some established defensive players and a coach who's going to let the team know what they're doing in the beginning, not after they get blown out by 23, then things are going to get better. But until then, this is going to be the same story. And now that there's a new management in the fold, I could see some changes being made. The Lakers are on the right path. Don't get it wrong. But there's a couple of things that need to be removed. And if you're a basketball fan and you understand the game, you all know who should be out. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But this next clip, not next clip, this next soundbite, I want you guys to hear Isaiah Thomas's comments on the point guard situation. And I want you guys to hear what he says about Jokic, which is very interesting, but very true. So here's the clip, and then I'm going to get back to that.
Modern day point guard right now, it's a requirement to score.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be the main driver of the offense for your offensive system and scheme to work. So schematically, what has changed in the game is that the ball used to go inside so you can get closer to the basket and get 2 feet in the paint from the big guys. Now, that guard out on the perimeter, as Vinny, Joe, and I did, we were required to get inside, get 2 feet in the paint, and kick out. What I see with a guy like the Joker, which makes him so unique, right? And the reason why he's leading the league in assists is because while he can score in the paint and receive the ball in the paint, he also receives it at the top of the key. Mm-hmm. Most centers don't get the ball at the top of the key. They are, handoff guys at the top of the key. He's a scorer from the top of the key. He's a penetrator from the top of the key. Yeah. He's a passer and he's a facilitator. So while he is 7 feet tall, he really is a 6'1" point guard.
So that was Isaiah Thomas's soundbite there about the point guard situation now in the league and what has happened and the whole transition from back in the 80s and 90s to now. And of course, he talked about Jokic. And I have to say, what he did last night was ridiculous. And if you watched it, it was even better watching it live. Like, he had 56 points, 16 rebounds, 15 assists, 2 blocks. Like, it was absolutely, and he had 5 turnovers, but some of them was because guys just, I don't know what they were thinking. But he absolutely played a overall masterpiece of a basketball game. He did everything on all facets. And the thing about that is, when you watch Jokic play basketball, he's so smooth. He doesn't look like the prototypical basketball player. You know, he looks slow, which he moves slow. He's got that Arvydas Sabonis mindset. I keep comparing him to Arvydas Sabonis. I shouldn't now, since that he's completely evolved to a different level. But there's so much similarities. Arvydas Sabonis coming into a league at such a late period of his career, and look what he did. Trying to find that guy first before he tried to score. Jokic is always trying to find a guy. And if you watched that game yesterday, Jokic should have had at least 27 to 30 assists. I'm not even joking you. Like, he was trying to find guys multiple times. And he just did what he wanted to do. Although the game was so close, it was a good game. I ain't going to lie. Like, the game went to overtime. The Nuggets won 142-138. But it was just one of those basketball games. It was like, wow, man. And, you know, like you saw Anthony Edwards with 44 points. I mean, Julius Randle quietly is playing good basketball since leaving New York, which I think is a good thing for him because New York is not the place for him for a lot of reasons. Never a fan of him in New York. But I like what he's doing now. And he's so smooth now. Sometimes New York is not the place for you. I don't think New York was the place for Julius Randle. I think that trade for Cat worked out well for both guys. Jaden McDaniel, of course, doing his thing at 21. Naz Reid off the bench with 13. I mean, it was a good basketball game. But back to Jokic, like, I mean, it's for him, it's inside. It's outside, inside for him. He'll take the shot if he has to, but he's looking for that guy. And I mean, he found Jamal Murray a bunch of times. He found Tim Hardaway Jr. a couple times open on the corners there for a 3. So he's doing what he's doing. But right now, Jokic is going to walk away with this MVP. Like, hey, I'm an SGA guy, but I'm telling you right now, Jokic is going to win the MVP again. Unless something crazy happens, he's going to win that MVP. He's just playing ridiculous basketball. So I gotta give him his respect and I gotta give him his props. So another game I want to talk about. Well, let me talk about my Knicks and the Cavs. That game I watched too, and that was a crazy game because the Cavs have something going on and then it falls apart. I believe, and this is just my personal opinion, Darius Garland and Mitchell, something is not clicking there. Now, I'm not saying they can't win games, but something is not clicking. Now, I'm not saying trade one of them, but something is not clicking with those two. Now, the Cavs need to sit down and figure out certain things and fix that because right now they're 17 and 15 and 7th in the East. Last year, they had this amazing start to the year. This year, it's a lot different, but this is basketball. When people figure you out after your rise to whatever, things could change. I've heard certain people say that Evan Mobley and Jared Allen are soft. Why are they soft? Because they don't fit the bill of what you believe is supposed to be a tough guy. I love Jared Allen as a basketball player. He comes in, he brings his lunch pail, he listens, he comes to practice. He's very observant. He watches a lot of game film. He just plays basketball. But because he's not one of these guys who comes out and looks a certain way coming down the ramp before a game, or he doesn't talk certain things. And I've heard players criticize him because he's not that type of guy. It's ridiculous. He doesn't have to be. He's not a tough guy. He's a good basketball player. And if you know how to play basketball, you understand the game, he could do some great things. So I don't know, when I hear these criticisms of Jared Allen, I'm like, are you guys out of your mind? Like, come on. Yeah, he only had 7 points, blah, whatever. But the way the game is constructed now, the center position is no longer important in the league. Jared Allen is a special, he's a special entity now in the game. Where 20 years ago, centers were in high demand. And some guys couldn't even get in the league because there was too many centers in the league. Now the centers are not even important. Like Evan Mobley came off the bench and had 14, 9, and 3. A couple years ago, you guys said he was the rookie of the year over Scotty Barnes. The American media said that he was the MVP over Scotty Barnes when everybody knew Scotty Barnes was the not the MVP. He was the rookie of the year. But you guys were trying to push Evan Mobley, and now he's coming off the bench. That's a problem again. Like I said, the emotions of the American media and the haters out there don't understand the mechanics of basketball. If you think I'm lying, look at the stats right now. Because last I checked, Scotty Barnes ain't coming off the bench. So that's all I have to say. The Knicks won 126, 124. The Knicks are going to continue to be gritty. They didn't have a bench. And that's another thing. The Knicks have no bench. They have no bench. But Kolak came off the bench and hit some big threes. I was like, what? They don't have no bench? But Mike Brown has continued what Tibbs left. He's not killing them in minutes. Before there was, Josh Hart's getting 26. OG might, he got 33. Towns only played 27. Jalen had to play 39 because there really no backup point guard. But for the most part, Jordan Clarkson had his, Jordan Clarkson, had 28 minutes. Like, Mike Brown's a good coach. So, like I said, I never had a problem with that decision, but it's like you could see Mike Brown is still very, very, very focused on the defensive end. He believes and lives with the defense, but he's also in the offense too. So he's a mixture. Tibbs was just defense. Let me burn you guys out. And I'm only going to play 8 guys. So that was a good win for the Knicks. They need to win games like that. Spurs and Thunder, look at what Spurs are doing. Slowly getting back to their dominant position in the game. Couple years, they kind of went down. Pop had a few things, respect to Pop. Hopefully he's doing well. But look at the Spurs now. They're playing ball. They got the pieces. They got De'Aaron Fox. And De'Aaron Fox, De'Aaron Fox only had a bunch of points in the first game against OKC. De'Aaron Fox does not have to kill himself every night. You got Derek Harper Jr., you got Wemby, of course, you got Castle, you got De'Aaron Fox, you got Vassell, you got Harrison Barnes. They could all score. They could all score. Why is it everybody so focused on Fox trying to score 25 a night? That's the problem in Sacramento. It didn't work out. So no, I like what the Spurs are doing. The wealth is being spread. The minutes are being spread. OKC, after having the hot starts, lost a few. They're still 26-5. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. So, excuse me. Sorry, guys. OKC is going to be fine. Spurs are going to be fine. These two teams might see each other in the Western Conference Finals. And I have no problems with that because that is the evolvement of the game. Although the game has a lot of issues, of course, their commissioner. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about this. That's what's going on right now. So, excuse me again. Sorry about that. Cold season. So, when I come back, sorry about that. Sorry. My gosh. I apologize for this, guys. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Chris Paul situation. I need to get to that because I'm going to move on to something that's happening currently with the Clippers. And it's a major disconnect. We'll be back in a few. First of all, my apologies to everybody here listening to the show. It's cold season, no excuses. I hate when that happens, so I apologize for all that coughing and at the end of that segment there. But everything is cool. I'm good. Now let's just talk about what's going on with the Clippers. Let's start with December 3rd of this year. Chris Paul was released ceremoniously at 4 a.m. in the morning, was sent back to LA before a game against Atlanta. And of course, reports came out that he was a little too much with the players and, of course, the organization, talking about the bad habits that have become a norm and the practices have been very lackadaisical. There were so many things, which doesn't surprise me. The Clippers situation began to fall on July 6th of 2019. Now, if you guys don't remember what happened on July 6, 2019, two things happened that crushed this organization. Number one, they signed Kawhi Leonard. Mistake number one. Mistake number two, they traded their entire future to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Paul George. We all know what's going on with Oklahoma right now, and currently what they're about to do again, potentially. So it started, 5 years ago? Everybody's talking about Chris Paul now. This is a culture that's been cultivated and groomed since Kawhi Leonard got there. Kawhi Leonard wasn't allowed to do that in Toronto. Of course, a report came out via Fred VanVleet and others that he was never planning to stay here. Who cares? He gave them their championship. He was a professional. He did what he had to do, and he went about his way. Thanks, but no thanks. You're not getting your way. So he never had any intentions of staying here, but the Raptors made sure they got something out of him, and that's a championship. He went to the Clippers, pulled all these demands, and look at him now. Taking games off when he feels like it, always hurt, whatever. It doesn't matter. The bottom line is the Clippers made the biggest mistake allowing a player to run their franchise when they need to find ways to win. You're that desperate. You're so desperate, you gave another team a championship. So I don't want to hear what they could have done, what they should have done. Ty Lue becomes the coach. And there's a particular clip, and I'm going to post that link for that clip when this podcast is done. If you guys are paying attention, you can go and highlight that clip or click on it and watch it with Brooke Lopez and Ty Lue. The complete disconnect. Ty Lue drops the clipboard. Kawhi kicks it. If you really look at this team, Jeff Van Gundy's coaching that team. I don't know why Jeff Van Gundy left the commentary booth because he was really good. This is just, again, NBC or ESPN or whoever, ABC, ESPN doing the dumbness. They should have never gotten rid of Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy. They went out and they put Doris Burke and whoever. That was a mess. You see what they did. And Richard Jefferson, horrible. Jeff Van Gundy goes back to being an assistant coach. He's really the head coach now because he's the only one that they listen to. It'll be on the clip. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to post it on the bio for this show. And it just shows you this is all karma for the Clippers. The Clippers created this environment, and they deserve this. They handed Kawhi Leonard the franchise. They gave him his demands. They fell like clowns into this, and now look at them. Chris Paul basically came in a very bad time and basically exposed him. James Harden's been here for a few years. I'm not going to blame him. He's been balling. He's been playing, 75-plus games for them. This is all the Clippers. They might as well just fire Ty Lue, let Jeff Van Gundy run the team, and let the rest fall into place, which is going to be nothing. So it's just a continued mess with this. It's just it's just a mess. So, but folks, that's it. That's another episode of The Court, and that's about it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for subscribing if you have subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed to this yet, come on. What are you guys waiting for? Are you guys not tired listening to these guys who come out with their mics every week and get emotional and talk foolishness and forget to mention the stats? Come on. If you guys want reality, no, what do they call it? No filters, no edits. This is straight raw. This is what this is. This is the show to go. If you want basketball, this is it. If this is the podcast you want to go, the Pod Show by Beat Fact Music. It's right here. Everything is here that you need. So, folks, thanks for listening. For those that supported, thanks for supporting. For those that are avid listeners and do support and have passed this on to others, thank you again. Folks, that's a wrap. That's The Court. I'm signing off. Peace.